something to say back. And then
Ja got in there. I didn't see that the first time.
I saw that the first time.
New footage has surfaced revealing an explosive confrontation between Klay Thompson and Ja Morant following a heated Mavericks-Grizzlies matchup. What began as routine trash talk on the court quickly crossed the line and became deeply personal. Just when it appeared that tensions had finally cooled, a shocking twist unfolded, one that left fans stunned and uneasy. Here's a breakdown of the night. Everything spiraled out of control. What was expected to be just another regular season Western Conference game turned into one of the most talked about moments of the entire NBA season. On November 22, 2025, at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, the basketball world witnessed an incident that would dominate headlines, flood social media timelines, and fuel sports talk shows for days to come.
So we got some drama in the NBA world, and I love it, involving Ja Morant and Klay Thompson.
Here's how it all began. The Memphis Grizzlies were in Dallas to face the Mavericks in what initially looked like a routine NBA in-season tournament matchup. On the surface, there was nothing unusual about the game, but beneath that calm exterior, tension was quietly building. Few could have predicted that the night would spiral into a viral confrontation that would dominate NBA conversations. From the opening tip, the atmosphere inside the arena felt different. The intensity resembled a playoff elimination game rather than a mid-November contest. The Grizzlies, playing shorthanded due to injuries and missing their star guard Ja Morant because of a lingering calf strain, were determined to prove they could compete without their leader. Across the floor, the Mavericks were equally motivated. Featuring newly acquired veteran sharpshooter Klay Thompson alongside Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, Dallas was eager to find connected went astray. As the second half unfolded, small moments of friction began piling up, creating a volatile atmosphere waiting for a spark. Midway through the game, Klay Thompson became embroiled in a heated verbal exchange with Grizzlies forward Santi Aldama after what Thompson believed was a dirty play. The incident involved Mavericks rookie sensation Cooper Flagg, the highly touted first overall pick who had been under intense scrutiny since day one. During a loose ball scramble, Aldama appeared to either trip or aggressively grab Flagg, prompting Thompson to step in immediately. For Thompson, this went beyond basketball. As a veteran leader, he felt a responsibility to protect his young teammate and set a tone. It was about drawing a line, defending his own, and showing the locker room that no one would be left exposed. That confrontation, however, was only the beginning. Later in the game, Thompson found himself at the center of another heated exchange, this time with Grizzlies guard Vince Williams Jr. After the two became tangled on a play, Thompson accused Williams of exaggerating contact in an attempt to draw a foul. Known throughout his career for his straightforward physical style of play, Thompson took offense to what he viewed as flopping and gamesmanship crossing into deception. The crowd fed off the growing hostility, with every point attempt from Thompson in the closing seconds that rattled out. The Grizzlies capitalized and closed out a gritty 102-96 road victory. Despite the intensity and quality of the game itself, it would soon be overshadowed by a split second. Morant's attention shifted. What followed was not playful or subtle trash talk. It was a direct, unmistakable shot at one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. The moment was captured from multiple angles, quickly spreading across social media and racking up millions of views. Commentators immediately recognized the weight of Morant's words, understanding that this was
So Ja Morant, during Cam Spencer's post-game interview, he goes, "Tell him who's the best shooter in the house." It wasn't bro from Golden State. His Grizzlies did play the Dallas Mavericks, which he's talking about Klay Thompson. He's throwing the shot, right? And honestly, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Morant walked directly toward the area where Klay Thompson was standing, still trying to process the disappointment of the loss, and pointed straight at Thompson's face. What followed was a sharp, provocative jab that struck a nerve. Morant openly dismissed Thompson's legendary status as one of the greatest shooters in NBA history, declaring that rookie Cam Spencer was the best shooter on the floor that night. This was not light-hearted banter. It was a calculated provocation from a player not even in uniform, aimed squarely at a Thompson's response was instant and emotional, verbally, escalating the exchange beyond routine trash talk. The situation deteriorated rapidly, forcing immediate intervention. Within seconds, teammates, coaches, and arena security rushed in from every direction, working frantically to separate the two before the confrontation turned physical. Footage from multiple angles captured just how intense the moment was. Morant leaned in aggressively, his body language confrontational and unyielding. Thompson stood his ground with a cold, defiant stare, refusing to back down despite being blindsided by the audacity of a bench player. Nearby, younger players like Cooper Flagg and Cam Spencer watched in disbelief, suddenly thrust into the middle of a rivalry they were only beginning to understand. The entire incident lasted less than a minute, but in that brief span, something meaners exchanging words after a hard-fought game. It felt like the release of long-simmering tension, the collision of old grievances with new frustrations, and of different eras and mentalities within the NBA. As phones lit up across the arena to record every second, no one yet realized just how viral the confrontation would become or how it would dominate basketball discourse in the days and weeks ahead. Even seasoned analysts, accustomed to heated NBA moments, were taken aback by how personal the exchange felt. The disrespect cut deeper than typical trash talk, and that gravity was evident in the way commentators spoke about what had just unfolded.
Hey, that sound personal, You hear me? Most of the time when you have an altercation, when cooler heads prevail, once you get to the locker room, you sweep it under the rug. But he ain't sweep it under the rug.
What began as a simple basketball game had transformed into something far bigger. It became a flashpoint that forced deeper conversations about respect, accountability, maturity, and the unwritten codes that govern professional sports. As the two players were finally separated and escorted in opposite directions, emotions still boiling and words still being exchanged from a distance, one thing was unmistakably clear. This story was far from finished. If the on-court confrontation was explosive, what followed was downright incendiary. Typically, the intensity of competition fades once players retreat to their locker rooms and cooler heads prevail. But Klay Thompson had no intention of letting this moment slip quietly into the background of a long NBA season. He wasn't interested in moving on or offering diplomatic sound bites. Instead, Thompson delivered one of the most brutally honest and sharply critical post-game interviews the league had seen in years. Standing in front of his locker, still in his game gear and visibly charged with emotion, the four-time champion pulled no punches. When reporters asked him about the confrontation with Ja Morant, Thompson made it clear that he was ready to speak his mind, and he didn't hold back.
And then with Ja, he's a funny guy. He has a lot to say all the time, especially for a guy who rarely takes accountability, but you know what, that's for another day.
What did Ja have to say on this occasion?
Nothing of intelligent depth. It was really just running his mouth.
Thompson's words landed like hammer blows, each sentence carrying the full weight of his 13-year career. Behind every remark were 4 championship rings, years of battles at the highest level, and the scars left by devastating injuries he had fought through to return to the game. This wasn't just anger, it was the voice of hard-earned experience, shaped by sacrifice and an understanding of what it truly takes to succeed in the NBA. And Thompson wasn't finished. Not even close. His frustration with Ja Morant had clearly been simmering for years, building quietly beneath the surface. In that moment, the post-game interview became a release valve, allowing all of that pent-up resentment to finally spill out.
And he's been running his mouth for a long time, and it's funny to run your mouth when you're on the bench. It's kind of the story of his career so far, just leaving us wanting more, We all want to see him out there and do his best, but he's just been letting a lot of other stuff get in the way of that.
This wasn't simply trash talk being thrown back and forth. It was a veteran publicly calling out what he saw as unfulfilled potential, wasted talent, and a deeper lack of accountability. Thompson's frustration was unmistakable, but so was his disappointment. His message was clear. Words mean nothing if they aren't backed by discipline, consistency, and commitment to the team. Championships, in Thompson's view, aren't won through hype or bravado. They are earned through preparation, sacrifice, and, above all, being available when your team needs you most. Then came the final knockout blow, delivered with the quiet authority of someone who had paid his dues and earned the right to define what true stardom in the NBA really looks like.
We need that in the NBA. We need our best players to be out there, and when you're a star, it comes with a great responsibility. I hate to see that go to waste.
The basketball world reacted immediately, and the response was sharply divided. Clips of Thompson's post-game interviews spread like wildfire, racking up more than 3.4 million views within hours and igniting heated debates across every major social media platform. Supporters quickly rallied behind Thompson, arguing that his resume alone earned him the right to speak so bluntly. They pointed to his legendary accomplishments, scoring 60 points in just 3 quarters against the Indiana Pacers, the iconic 37-point quarter versus the Sacramento Kings, hitting 14 three-pointers in a single game, and cementing his legacy as one of the greatest shooters the NBA has ever seen. To them, Thompson's message was about respect and accountability. They believed Ja Morant needed to listen, especially when criticism came from someone who had already proven everything there was to prove at the highest level. In their eyes, Thompson wasn't attacking. He was offering a hard truth shaped by championship experience. But critics were just as loud. Some accused Thompson of hypocrisy, pointing to his recent shooting struggles and questioning whether his prime was behind him. "Why don't you start making some shots so you won't be called a bum, Klay?" One popular reply read, echoing the sentiment of fans who felt he was leaning too
shots. He took little shots as if he was sitting on the other side of the spectrum like an analyst, like a pundit, taking subtle shots based on his character and his actions and some of the things he's done on and off the court.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click on one of the boxes on your screen to check out more content just like it.